We're going to war. Well, maybe. Hopefully. What's up, guys? Steven with Level Up MMO, and today we're going to be talking about wars in New World. Should there be more? Should there be practice wars? What are the pros and cons of if this does come to be, and what do I think about it? Now, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they have hinted at or stated to some degree that they are working on being able to do practice wars so that folks can get in ahead of time and to work things out, but to also allow more people to do wars, or at least that type of gameplay. Right now, the only way to be able to do a war is basically to try to take territory from somebody else. So you have to run the reputation missions, build up that, and then once you do that, you can lay a claim to the potential for war as long as you did at least 10%, and then you will go to war with whoever owns that territory. Practice wars, or just the ability to set up wars outside of that, I think would be a good addition to the game, but there are cons in addition to the pros that I've kind of stated, but I have many more to go over. So let's start with those pros. So first of all, people can participate in wars even if they don't want to fight for territory. In addition, people who don't want that territory could actually form war companies. They could just be companies that just take people to war or set up tournaments for wars or things like that, which is another possibility that this would unlock. Tournaments. Servers could literally host their own events, or a company could, where they're sort of like the host of that tournament, where companies can battle each other in a bracket, going to war, fighting for whatever reward the company has put up at the end. This will also allow for companies to build different metas and to try out different strategies.
Hammered, 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 hammered.
And do things differently so we don't see the same sort of approaches every time, and maybe some team goes in and they figure out this very unique strategy that only they put in the time to learn and that other people won't be able to copy as easy, and that could just add some more excitement to maybe how the underdog builds up a unique strategy that counters the play that the other company is running. This also gives the players who are oftentimes left out of wars, since currently they're very clicky, to kind of build a name for themselves. If they're going in a lot of these practice wars or these little setup tournaments or whatever it might be, then if they show up and show off, then maybe one of these companies wants to get them in for a real war and fight for that territory if they want to do that. And you can also set up wars with really unique things. Like if two companies decide, hey, let's do a practice war where nobody's allowed to use hatchets, or nobody has resilient gear on, or something like that. You know, you can do these fun little things, which again, you could turn into tournaments or events. That will also allow for in-faction competition. So you can actually have all the teams on Marauder and all the teams on Syndicate, and so on and so forth, battling each other for who the best one is. And they can even build something else within it, or when you do these practice wars or challenges, you can set kind of like a wager upon it, right? You can say like 100,000 gold on the line on this war. Both companies basically have to click the check, just like a trade, that they accept 100,000. That 100,000 is then locked away until the war is over, so you can't like drop your gold down and not have it, and then the winner walks away with an extra 100,000 gold. That would be a really fun and unique way of adding some incentive, some spice to these wars, so it's not just predicated on territory control, and companies that don't have territory will still be able to get a little something out of it and to have fun with it. And those are just some pros that I thought of off the top of my head in like the last 10 minutes. So I'm sure there could be more, but that doesn't mean there's not cons. And that's what we're going to talk about now, is what are the things that maybe aren't great about something like this. So first off, it makes the faction system seem even less important, and people may stop fighting for territories as much, because if they just like the aspect of wars and the big battles, then maybe they just do that and don't focus as much on actually doing the territory stuff. Although some certainly still will, I do think there's the potential that it detracts from it. We could also see, because of how small the servers are at about 2,500 players, and of course, since they're not always at peak, you're going to be risking pulling people out of things like OPR and Arena. So those will pop less frequently, because you're going to have 100 people, if only one war is going on that server at a time, jumping into wars. Now, maybe they allow you to do 2020s, maybe they allow you to do 40v40s, stuff like that. But if it is the 50 versus 50, if there's more than one going on, like if that's possible, that teams can just schedule to practice war, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you have 4 companies going to war, that's, you know, 2 per each side, attack and defense or whatever, and then you have 200 players out of everything else, right? And this can stack and stack and stack, and then all of a sudden the rest of the game seems a little bare. This could also, like, if people find ways to finagle it, maybe get gold swapped between different factions or companies. Who knows? I'm just thinking that there are potentially some other cons that haven't come into my head yet. If you have any, let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, with positive and negative, to this sort of system coming out, whether or not you think that it is really great or could have some really bad implications. I want to know what you think. Would you be excited for it? Would you not be? So on and so forth. Do you get to do wars now? Do you wish you did get to do wars? Do you not really care about the war system? I want to know your thoughts, so share them down below, or stop on my stream at twitch.tv/heartbreaker_TV. You can always come chat with me there. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like New World content or MMO content in general, subscribe to the channel, and of course, good luck in your adventures.